Hey guys, while my mom was doing shower, I'm researching some animals. So today we are up to chapter 13, the final chapter. So we nearly finished the book. So here we go, chapter 13, the final chapter. Chapter 13, the end. The race after Terry determined to stop him from hatching another bunch of eggs that might threaten our treehouse, not to mention our lives. Okay. But it wasn't Bill, the postman, at the door. It was Jill. She was painting as if she ran the whole way over. So, was that Silky I saw? She said, flying away from your treehouse with a giant gorilla. Yes, said Terry. I elbowed him hard. He means no, I said. Yes, that's right, said Terry. I mean no, Jilly frowned. I'm sure it was Silky. But isn't Silky white? I said. All those cats were yellow, and they were flying. Does Silky fly? You didn't mention it on your poster. Okay. And now Joe right there is totally confronting which one's Silky. When she doesn't usually she doesn't usually said Jill. But one of those cats was Silky. I'm sure of it. I'd recognize her anyway. And you two know something. I can tell. You better start talking and fast. I'm sorry, I said, but it wasn't my fault. It was Terry's. He painted Silky yellow and turned it into a canary. Canary. I guess, and then she flew away. I'm really sorry. A canary? Said Jill, slowly. Terry turned Silky into a canary. Yes, and like I said, I tried to stop him. Now Jill is confronting Andy, so... But I'm so glad you didn't, said Jill. Huh, I said. You don't mind? Not at all, said Jill. In fact, it's fantastic. I've been really wanting to get a canary, but I was worried that Silky would eat it. Having a flying cat was having the best of both pets. Thank you, Terry. Mm. You're welcome, said Terry. You would like any of your other animals converted to know where you bring them? Thanks, said Jill. I definitely think about it. Meanwhile, the better get home. Meanwhile, I'd better get home and put some bird seeds for Silky and her new friends. Now Jill was surprised that Terry was genius. After she left, Terry clapped his hands together. Well, that's turned out pretty well, don't you think? I guess so, I said, except for one small thing. What's that? We still haven't written our book! Now Andy's just acting crazy a bit. There's no need to shout, Andy, said Terry. Just relax. It will all be okay. In what sense can I possibly relax, and how can it all possibly be okay? I said. We do have no books, and it's due in tomorrow. How are we ever going to think all the stories up in time, left to learn right, and illustrate them? So Andy's thinking too much, and Terry's up the tree, I think. Easy, said Terry. We don't have to think anything up. We'll just live through the really interesting day. All we have to do is write it all down, draw some pictures, and we'll have our book. Terry is trying to chat Andy up. Let's see. I know I'm much smarter than Terry, but sometimes I get this really weird feeling that he is actually much smarter than me. That's a crazy idea, I said. Oh, Terry disappointed. Oh, so crazy, I said. It just might work. What are we waiting for then? Said Terry. Let's get started. So we sat down and wrote and drew, and drew, and drew. So that's the page that we've seen before, and the page that you've seen from the past. And wrote and drew and wrote and drew. It's about this 13-story treehouse. You've seen these pages before. And drew and wrote and wrote and drew. You've seen these ones before again. Oh my god. And drew until exactly 4:45 p.m. the next day. We've done it! I yelled. But it's quarter to 5, said Terry. How are we going to get to Mr. Big Nose on time? Our deadline is 5 o'clock. We'll never make it. Oh, yes, we will, I said. But how? I don't know, I said. Well, we'll think of something. This Terry and Andy were surprised that we finished the book, but unfortunately we had to get on time to Mr. Big Nose. That's when we heard the jingling noise. Terry jumped up. It's Santa Claus, he said. Quickly get to the stocking. Hang them up and pretend we're asleep. But it's not Christmas Eve, I said. In fact, it's not even Christmas. We went to the edge of the deck, and this is what we saw. So Terry saw and Andy saw Jill with flying cats. It was like, I'm not sure it was a race. I'm not sure it was a... Jill was flying through the sky towards us in the pram, drawing by Silky. Sorry about that. And the other flying cats check on my flying cat sleigh. He said, as the hover in the midair beside us wants to come for a ride. We can't. I said. We're busy. We're trying to figure out how to get to Mr. Nose and Mr. Big Nose. Sorry, in the city of 5 o'clock. I could take you, said Jill. These flying cats are really fast. Come on, climb aboard. And so we did. That's the one. And then now they start to fly to the city. Not the city here. And that's how we get to the book to Mr. Nose on time. And then he published it. Now that's Mr. Big Nose right there. And then he published the book. And it was delivered to a bookshop, libraries, digital reading device, and even transferred direct into people's brain via direct to brain's information delivery technology helmet. Direct to brain, the information delivery technology is direct to the brain, informally delivered system, so it's technologically advanced that Terry and I haven't invented yet. And that one right there, I think, is acting too fuzzy. And there you read it. We all live happily ever after. Unless you, of course, you live. We're gonna start off with happy after before this. Unless, of course, your life was tragically cut short as a result of having your brain fried up by one of our prototype direct to the brain information delivered technology helmet. And that's you like reading this book, and it says, and then you read it, and we all live happily ever after. The end. So this is the ending part, and this is the book right there, and that's you reading it. And there are sorts of books that you can collect. This is a 13-story treehouse that we're soon gonna read that. There's 3952. And there's 65 story treehouse and the other books of Terry and Andy. Look how amazing. And that's the end. And then these are the things. I'm just gonna read this to you. However, have you ever wondered that when idea come from and how stories are made? Would you like to know what true stories behind? So some of Andy's books are characters. Some are look at simple, practical, inspired writing activities of your text activity. Yes, creative activities writing class. Would you like to discover 45 great ways to have fun with words and pictures? If you answer yes to many of these questions, and this is definitely sorry, this phone, the right book for you. Designed for teachers, students, and young inspiring writers. Once upon a time, the slime contained 45 fun writings and storytelling activities such as lists, instructions, and cartoons, let personal stories, poem, and pocketbooks. Example from Andy and Terry. Books are used throughout to demonstrate techniques to inspire readers to have much fun fun playing with ideas. Words, pictures, and Andy and Terry do when they get together to create their crazy books. And that's it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoy this ending for this one. Make sure to subscribe if you want to see about the 26 story treehouse, and comment below if you have comment below if you read all the story treehouse or you keep them as collectibles. So make sure to subscribe until you see this until you get to see the next story treehouse book. I'm Aaron Chung. Be brave, stay wild. We'll see you on the next adventure.